Hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, have you seen the Gordon Ramsay special on Netflix? Uh, kind of binge watched it over 2 nights because I think it's 6 parts. And it seemed a little, I thought, that seems a little off. It sure wanted to make Gordon look like a saint and a hero and, amazing kind of husband. And yet there's been whispers and rumors about multiple affairs, and that he has quite the ego, a little bit of narcissism. And I thought, they were trying a little bit too hard to make him look likable. And at the end we watched it and it was like, that was just one big ad for his new restaurant, right? I mean, it was fascinating to watch the process, how you start from nothing and build this incredible restaurant and whatnot. But the story was about Gordon, and many people have come forward and said that was not him at all. So I want to ask the cards, how true, how far did they wander from the real Gordon Ramsay? Now, Gordon's 59, and he is a Scorpio, November Scorpio, and he'll be 60 this November. What's going on? What's the real... How far did they wander from the truth? Now, if you didn't see my announcement, I'm no longer hosting ads during the video. So you'll just see it, at the front and the end. I was kind of horrified when I found out how many YouTube was putting on. And other people have been asking, well, how can we support you now with those missing ads? And of course, that's subscribing and commenting and liking and hyping. But the most important one is sharing. YouTube really likes that when you share, whether you share it on Facebook or Twitter or send it to another YouTube watcher, because then the algorithm loves that. So you can do that. And I've also introduced a 99-cent tip jar. I know I have a $2.99 tip jar, but a 99-cent tip jar now that I've taken those ads out, because it will be a drop in income. And I'd rather have you happy with my videos and wanting to share them than, than that interruption. I like to treat people the way I want to be treated, and I hate those videos that interrupt like that. So why would I want other people to watch them? So that's the story with that. So thank you in advance for all the members. I sure appreciate you, all the current subscribers, likers, hypers, sharers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All of that goes a very long way to supporting the channel, okay? If you never feel that you have to give money to support the channel, just by your actions or watching the whole video, that's also great. But anyways, sorry to interrupt this, this reading, but I just want to let you know what's going on with the channel. All right. The join button will be down below if you wanted to join in on the 99-cent a month tip jar. I appreciate that. How far? So we'll be looking at like the 7 of Swords, the Moon card, the Devil card. We'll even be looking for the Death card because he is, like I said, he's a Scorpio. We'll be looking for the Lovers card. There's all sorts in here. Let's find out. Shall we begin? Page of Wands. So there's the actual story about Gordon Ramsay, and they did want this to grow into something really nice. Page of Wands brings us news that grows. News of concern. So, a birth, a marriage, a new job, the results of an election or something like that. It always brings us some kind of news that grows into a growing concern. So that I'm going to say that's the actual documentary itself, and it's just a page. So it was kind of light. All right, so many people feel ambiguous about it. about how they were trying to feed something that we kind of knew, right? I'm not saying he's not any of those things. It looks like he's a much better father with his second family, like the two younger ones. And he fully admits that he wasn't there for his older children. So I think, I think in some respects they were trying to feed us something that a lot of us knew just simply wasn't true. Yeah, this was a money making venture. Absolutely. This was, to sell his new restaurant. Plus, you have to remember, how much did they get paid for that? It was a year long process. Um, so yeah, this was like, how much money we're going to get from Netflix? Is this going to be for the restaurant? King of Pentacles, there he is, the very wealthy man. And he kept saying, "Oh, I'm on, my neck is on the line, and 20 million pound." And I thought, you have 400. He's making it sound like bloody hell, and well, of course, nobody wants to fail at anything, right? But he was really making it a lot about money, about how much money has been invested, and it was 20 million pound to get this off the ground, and he signed a 20-year lease. And you know what? I think that was the least of his worries. Oh, Two of Cups. Two of Cups. I'm going to say that the actual, because we asked, how far is it from the truth of Gordon Ramsay, right? Were they just trying to blow smoke up our butts about him? And I'm going to say it for right now, I'm going to say it was actually quite truthful. The parts about him being a very wealthy man, I'm going to say the agreement that he has with his wife right now. Yeah, to him, he thinks it was very victorious, right? That he was really happy with the results. There were some burdens though that they didn't talk about. They didn't talk about the affairs that he has now. In his defense, he is denied any wrongdoing or any kind of affairs or whatever. And I found it interesting that the women who say they have had affairs with him, they don't have any evidence. You think you'd have text messages, emails, phone calls, friends standing up and saying, "Oh yeah, I saw them out at the nightclub together," or so there was something there though. There was some kind of burden. Or that could just even be the burden of building the restaurant. Knight of Wands. Look at the wands here. So very passionate and interesting. The Knight of Wands is my one night stand guy. And interesting, he's on the Knight of Pentacles. He could have this. Sometimes I call the Knight of Wands Chad. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am, or doesn't remember your name, or doesn't text you, or whatnot. Let's see if another card shows up with that. It just could be that he was just so busy and he had the burden of all these restaurants. He has the burden of his shows that he runs. But this is a very, let's just say very sexual person. Four of Swords and the Tower. Okay, guys. There is information that could bring everything down. Interesting, the tower, because his new restaurant is on top of a tower. There was information there that they did not bring out. Remember I said I'll see what this Chad here is going to tell us? Yeah, there's information that could really, really bring him down. Big time. Big time. Knight of Cups, Knight in shining armor. And the Star. The Star. Okay, I'm going to say that, yes, there are skeletons in his closet. Yes, he is Um, I'm going to say, yeah, he was on the prowl. All right, sorry, that's what it is. And if that information ever got out, that's a big burden. It would be quite devastating to him, especially, why would they mention that while he's trying to show how he's rebuilt? He wants to be a really good father and, a fantastic husband. So I'm going to say now he's a much better husband. I'm going to say when he was younger, because remember he's a King of Cups as a Scorpio, as a younger chef, so possibly early in their marriage. I'm going to say he's got the two knights here, the two knight in shining armor, and the sexuality here. And here's the tower. Um, I'm going to say that there's been a lot of healing with that. And a lot of people even mentioned that you could tell that the twice that he's been caught cheating, she demanded a new baby. So that's why they have Oscar and Jess that are quite a bit younger than the oldest ones. I don't know how true that is or not. The star, I'm going to say that they didn't bring it up because there's been a lot of healing in the family regarding that. I'm going to say for sure. Well, according to my sources, allegedly, remember, this is just tarot for fun and entertainment. We're just playing, um and guessing and having opinions, but this is all allegedly, right? I'm going to say that there's been a lot of hope and healing within their relationship. And what you saw was mostly truthful, right? But I'm going to say there was a lot of things that were left out, lying by omission. But what we saw was mostly truthful. He really is trying to be, there is hope and healing in that family. He really is trying to be a better husband, a better boss. Lots of people come out and said he is such a bully and he's such an asshole. And, they made him look like he's, the best boss in the world. I'm going to say he's trying. He's really trying with that. Queen of Swords, a lot of NDAs. A lot of NDAs were there. Look at the three swords in a row. Overall, he's really happy with it. Really happy with it. And look at that, Five of Swords. There's the people who are saying he was a bully. I just said they were saying he was a bully and an asshole, and and there he is, right there. The bully card showed up. So I'm going to say that overall, he was very happy with the show and how it portrayed him about second chance of being a father. And I mean, that little boy just, you could tell, loves him to death. Um, you could tell that, him and his wife are on the same page, and this just shows. And I think there was some things that were definitely left out on purpose, but for the most part, it was very truthful. We have the swords here, and I think there's a lot of NDAs. I think there was a lot of truth about how other people talked. Um, Contracts and whatnot. I mean, that one, the supervisor and his head chef and whatnot. But yeah, they left some out. There was a lot of things they left out about Gordon Ramsay, and they just kind of showed. And like the first card said, it was light entertainment. This wasn't meant to be a deep dive into Gordon Ramsay's psychology or anything like that. And interesting, most Scorpios are very secretive. They have lots of secrets, and I think he has full control over a lot of his secrets. I'm going to say that even if these cards here are true, that some people could bring him down with some of that information, he's got it locked up pretty good. He's got it locked up pretty good. Um, yeah, so there you go. So I don't know. Have you seen it? Have you seen the Gordon Ramsay documentary, docu-series, whatever they want to call it? Like I said, it's quite light, um, light entertainment. It really is one big advertisement for his new restaurant, but it is kind of interesting to see, how you go from an empty space to this glamorous project. So that part of it was quite interesting. And to see a little bit of his home life. Some of his children aren't in it, like Megan and Jack. We didn't see much of them at all. And I don't think they had even any speaking parts. They were really kind of in the distance. And it's interesting to see what they say about Holly's wedding now that we know what all went down with that. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Please take good care. See you online. Bye for now.